Welcome to Inside the Issues. My name is Amrit Singh, and one of the challenges facing our region is what we call runaway TV and film production. Hollywood losing out to other cities, other states, even other countries, including the United Kingdom, which offer production companies cheaper alternatives or incentives like tax credits. The state of California has been trying to fight with that ramped up tax credit of its own, and today California announced the recipients of roughly half of those tax credits worth more than $330 million. 52 films will get access to those tax credits. They include a new Jumanji film, which will receive about $44 million worth of tax credits. Michael Mann's Heat 2, which will be filmed in LA, also included, as well as a new project from Daniels, the writers and directors behind Everything Everywhere All at Once, and some other films as well. According to the California Film Commission, 52 films receiving tax credits are expected to bring in $1.4 billion worth of economic activity to the state. This is the conversation that it's a good bet. You got to sprinkle some seeds of tax credits to get more money into the region. Meanwhile, Los Angeles City Council is also working to keep production local. We're going to bring in Councilmember Bob Blumenfield now, who represents the 3rd District, which includes Tarzana, Woodland Hills, and San Fernando Valley. Welcome back to ITI. Great to have you back here.
Thanks. Wonderful to be back. Good to see you.
You too. We're talking about film and television production, something you know well. Obviously, it's important for your district, and also we can talk about this, but it's part of the family business for you too, at least for your brother. Before we get there, though, what's the state of production? How do you see it?
Well, we have been suffering in Los Angeles. We have been losing the industry for a long time. I've been involved with this issue when I was in State Assembly. I was one of the authors of the film tax credit, which has now since grown to $750 million a year, which is wonderful. And I was on the State Film Commission, but I've been seeing, as we all have who live here, seeing production be lured away by tax credits from other states and other countries. Yeah. And it's the big tentpole pictures, it's the big Hollywood, but it's also, we need to start looking at the other aspects of the entertainment industry, some of the new entertainment industry, the microdramas and the small aspects of entertainment. Yeah,
you know what, why don't we talk about the microdramas, because you have a motion on that before we talk about other issues with production. So the City Council will be considering this motion that you have on microdramas. People might be hearing that, a lot of them might say, I love microdramas, I'm watching them. A lot of people might say, what is a microdrama? Right. So just talk to the people at home about what it is.
Yeah, microdrama or vertical production, it's basically those little shorts that you see on your phone. Right. The little stories that come, and there are different channels you can see it, but you might see it on your Facebook, your Instagram, whatever it is. It's where a lot of entertainment is going, and tremendous amount of production is being done there, but we are not ahead of the curve on this one. Mm-hmm. On this one, China is leading the industry and other countries, and so we need to catch up. If we want to keep the entertainment base here in Los Angeles where it needs to be, we need to look at all aspects of entertainment, the big stuff, but also these microdramas, and see how we can incentivize keeping them here.
Yeah, now, the data on microdramas coming out of China is fascinating. It's $7 billion last year, which was outperformed the box office. So it beats theatrical films in terms of revenues for these microdramas. And I think you described it well. Vertical, it's not like just TikTok, it's actual produced films that have like a quick hook. They're like, sometimes the episodes are just a minute or 2 or 3. You get a couple for free and then you subscribe. It's a new model and it's taken off in China. And you say we got to do more of it here in LA.
Yeah, well, it's being done here. In fact, we get every single day, we get a permit from Film LA for another microdrama. So there are 30 or 40 a month is coming out. And those are just the permitted ones on public lands. So we know that there's a heck of a lot more that are either not getting permits or are being done on private lands. So there's a lot of content out there, both here in LA and across the country. But unfortunately, there's a lot of lures to get people to produce them elsewhere.
Right, and so a lot of this is simply analogous or mirroring some of the bigger issues with production with film and television in general, and we can talk about that in a moment. But as far as your motion with microdramas, you're calling for specific things to incentivize microdramas here in LA. What are those things?
Right, and the microdramas don't really qualify for the tax credits because they're generally much smaller budgets, $200,000. It's really a nascent form of entertainment. And so they haven't figured out how to tap into the incentives. And so what I'm trying to do is figure out what are the incentives that we can do to bring them in. And so I have a bill that's being heard in Public Works tomorrow that starts looking into that. What are our economic workforce development? What incentives can we create? Can we do a grant program where we put up some of the money prior to production and some after for certain expenses? Can we work with Film LA to streamline permitting, both for all productions, but for micro productions? And all of this is basically starting in this bill
Yeah.
to get that process going.
So I looked at your bill. You're talking about looking for $5 million in either public or private philanthropic contributions to get some grants going to seed these things. And that makes sense. And in general, with these kinds of incentive rebate programs or raising money to get this stuff going, sometimes you got to wonder what the return will be. And these are, as you say, they're lower production, which means they don't qualify for the state level. So just talk about how the economics of it work out. For instance, if we get $5 million together, but these productions are only $200,000, how does that still benefit Los Angeles?
Well, every production that you bring here, there is all sorts of ancillary benefits and you know, a cascade of other, you know, whether it's the wardrobe, the actors, the dry cleaners, all the businesses that are related to that is what keeps Los Angeles going. This city was built on the entertainment industry, and this is the next wave in entertainment industry.
Yeah.
And I know, as I said, you know, personal experience, I mean, friends, my brother is a producer and a podcaster, a vertically challenged podcast, and they, you know, they're often having to go to other places to film, and they want to film here in LA, and they want to, you know, a lot of these producers want to make sure that they're employing Angelenos.
Yeah. Well, you know, we talk about some of the other jurisdictions that are attractive to, we're talking microdramas. We can just widen the aperture to keep it in the lens metaphor, but there's lots of reasons that people are going to other jurisdictions. There's tax incentives in the United Kingdom, Canada, whatever. But there's also just all these fees, permitting issues here in Los Angeles. LA City Council, in addition to your motion, has been looking into other sorts of things and ways in which we can reduce some of the red tape, cut the fees. Mayor Bass has been talking about it too. How is that going along?
Yeah, well, working closely with the mayor and, you know, our city infrastructure, always trying to figure out how can we streamline our permits and work with Film LA, our nonprofit that we work with, to try to make it as easy as possible, especially when you're dealing with you know, public infrastructure, whether it's City Hall building behind where there was some filming being done today, or any of our parks. We want to make sure that Angelenos know that this is a place that we welcome filming of all kinds, and especially now these new microdramas that are popping up,
Yeah.
and especially a lot of new filmmakers, or that's how they're cutting their teeth.
Right, it's a new way in. Councilmember, you brought up Film LA a few times. This is a nonprofit that the city is contracted with to handle a lot of the logistics around permitting. And ever since this newly negotiated contract, well, it wasn't really negotiated, it was approved, reapproved. And some folks in the community, some people in the industry, the Stay in LA 25 amongst the activist groups, they're saying, actually, we wish the city did renegotiate with Film LA because they have some issues with the Film LA. They're saying, look, one of the reasons that it's tough to make productions in LA is because it's tough to get the permits from Film LA. And maybe they're keeping, it's a nonprofit, but maybe they're keeping too much of the money. Maybe the permit prices are too high. What's your view on Film LA? How should we be thinking about just permitting in Los Angeles?
Well, I mean, the fact that we have Film LA, I mean, they do a tremendous amount of good work bringing in films. They have become our go-to expert. Can they be improved? Absolutely. But I think that's where we need to focus our energy is how do we make them better, and what are those barriers? If it's actually internal within that bureaucracy, then obviously we go after it. But I think a lot of them is sort of the external issues that we can have more of an impact on in terms of how Los Angeles welcomes and keeps our industrial base, because that's the other key to all this. Is the reason why LA is the place. Yeah. Is it's not just the incentives, it's the history, it's the industrial base, it's the fact that not just Hollywood, but everywhere in the valley where I represent, that people have made their lives in that industry.
Well, as part of this reapproved contract with Film LA, they are providing these quarterly reports, and it's a conversation about, you know, more transparency to how Film LA works. So that's part of the conversation. Microdrama is another part, these incentives another part. It's great to have you on to talk about this. Want to talk to you on the other side, maybe talk more about microdramas and, of course, the budget and other things.
Look forward to it.
All right, that'd be great. Thank you so much for coming in.
All right, thank you so much.
All right, thank you so much. Really appreciate it. Bob Blumenfield, council member here in Los Angeles City Council, talking about microdramas as one of the ways in to trying to keep some production here in Los Angeles. However you look at it, important to the soul, if not the bottom line of the area.
Thanks for watching our YouTube channel. Let Spectrum News be your resource for balanced, in-depth political coverage. And click the subscribe button here. You can also download our app and watch us on TV to learn more about the candidates, where they stand on the issues, and more. We'll see you then.